Hello and welcome to PCB Chat, where we talk with experts across the printed circuit design, manufacturing, and electronic supply chain fields. I'm Mike Buetow, president of PCEA. My guest today is Vivek Bansal, co-founder and president of engineering of VVDN Technologies. VVDN is perhaps best known as a provider of end-to-end engineering and manufacturing of hardware, mechanical and electronic assemblies, and embedded software, among others. Founded in 2007, it now has 11 product engineering centers worldwide, plus 7 manufacturing plants across India, where its capabilities include SMT, injection molding, tooling, die casting, and metal stamping, among others. VVDN builds products for a range of end markets, including cameras for surveillance and security, communications products such as 5G radio units and 4G and 5G antennas, consumer products like wearables and Wi-Fi based access points, computing products like HPCs and telecom servers, laptops and tablets, and automotive electronics such as automotive vision systems, ADAS, EV chargers, infotainment systems, and more. Welcome to PCB Chat, Vivek.
Thank you, Mike. Good to meet you.
VVDN is probably not well known to many of our listeners, but your backstory is a familiar one. VVDN stands for Voice, Video, Data, and Network. You and your partners were Silicon Valley engineers who co-founded your own company in 2007. What can you tell us about your original goals?
So, Mike, when we started this company, right, we saw, we were working for different companies. I used to work for Hughes, and my colleagues were working for companies like Cisco, right? And back then, the whole electronic product development was conducted in a manner where the electronics was done out of Taiwan, right? Taiwan was big at that time, right? And China was coming up, right? And all the software development was happening out of India, right? So there was literally no one company who would do, the full electronics and software. So we thought that was a big opportunity for VVDN, and we thought we could be one-stop solution, providing end-to-end capabilities in terms of electronics and software. Uh, with that idea in mind, right, we started this company, and really early on, we were able to excite a lot of customers in North America, right, to engage VVDN to do both hardware and software. This whole model turned out to be very successful. We started as a design house. For first few years we were working as a design company, and then eventually we also got into the space of manufacturing. So that was a whole idea right from the beginning of the company.
So the plan all along, even though you started with the software side, the plan all along was to add manufacturing.
That is correct. That is correct. We always knew, that ultimately that's a huge potential for VVDN, and VVDN being in India. We really thought that we would stand out and can be one of the market leaders, right? If we not just do design but also manufacturing in the company.
Well, you're absolutely correct, of course, that in that time frame, the supply chain was very segmented.
Yeah.
With design, manufacturing, and assembly and test, all kind of being spread out among different companies, and the vertical integration model that HP and IBM and digital equipment and a lot of the Japanese firms had developed was really getting taken apart. Now, what caught my eye was a company announcement last month regarding a new factory in Tamil Nadu. The factory calls for a 100 million, 100-acre manufacturing plant to be built over the next 5 years. Now, as part of that, you plan more SMT capacity, correct?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
And that expansion will also include printed circuit fabrication, meaning VVDN will truly become vertically integrated. What prompted that decision to add bareboard fabrication?
So that's very interesting, Mike. And so VVDN has been continuously investing internally to do as much backward integration as possible, right? So we started literally doing SMTs in house, right? And slowly, gradually, we added mechanical tooling, injection molding, die casting, right? All of that. Now, next natural expansion on our side was to do our own printed circuit boards. Now, today we do it outside, right? We a lot of our vendors are in China. Now, what happens is anytime we do a new design, doing any PCB for the first time takes about 6 weeks or slightly longer. Literally, we are waiting, right, just for the boats to come, and that's a quite a long period. So we thought, why don't we bring in this process internally in the company? We will shorten our lead times, and also looking at the scale that we have, the kind of volumes that we are doing right now. We almost buy millions of quantities of these PCBs on year basis, right? And the volumes are increasing. So we thought, it's best to bring in that capability internally. It will shorten our lead time, reduce the logistic pain. So with all of that idea in mind, right, we decided to set up internally in the company. So Mike, on in that direction, the work has just started, and in next 12 months we will have state of the art facility in India, in Tamil Nadu, which will start producing the printed circuit boards.
So that's a remarkable development, in my opinion. The a lead time of 6 weeks for a company that does so much engineering and probably does a really high number of designs and MPI work. To have to wait for that, I could see that being very restrictive.
Yeah,
India's bare board fabrication infrastructure is still in the early stages.
that's right.
Nearly all laminate equipment and chemicals must be imported. So, are you taking any steps to ensure a consistent supply base prior to actually coming online?
Yes, yeah, Mike. So all of that will definitely happen as we get into this process, right? So absolutely, we will have to take all the necessary steps, right, to make sure the supply chain and the chemicals and everything, right, is available on time, right, and we will keep enough inventory on our side. Like I said, our volumes are quite significant, so to cater to those volumes, we will have to maintain a decent supply chain on our side.
And now, a brief word from our sponsor. This episode of PCB Chat is sponsored by PCB East, the electronic industry's East Coast conference and trade show, coming to the Boston suburbs May 9 to 12, and registration is now open at pcbeast.com. Will you take orders just for bare boards from customers, or will all the fabrication be used as part of your vertical integration strategy?
Yeah, that's going to happen, Mike. So, the way we run our manufacturing, each of the units have their own P&L, right? And they run as an independent operations. So while this unit will manufacture for VVDN, it would continue to function as an independent unit to support any other customer, not just in India, right, but globally, right? So this will uh, do bare board PCB manufacturing for customers across the globe. Yes.
The best data I have suggests that the domestic Indian PCB production is about 350 million per year, of which about 50% is exported. Meanwhile, India imports about $1.2 billion worth of PCBs each year. So that suggests a robust market opportunity in front of you.
Yeah, that's right. And Mike, another thing, at this moment, the kind of PCB fabrication we do in the country, right, is literally lower end PCBs, right? So they are, I'll say, up to 4 layer, right? Some of them are impedance controlled or not, right? So it's a slightly lower end on the scale, and which is why you see more import, because all the complex product PCBs are coming from outside. So the scale of this fabrication unit will be, it should be able to produce PCBs for, even for data center server kind of, right, complex board, right? It should be able to do a 28, 30 layer PCB also, very complex, dense PCB, with buried vias and all that, right? So it should be able to do that. So that is what we want to do.
Right. I mean, just on the basis of the end products that you build, I was thinking about the types of boards that would be required, and they would absolutely have to be HDI, very high layer count. You would instantly become one of the most sophisticated bare board fabricators in the country.
That is right. That is right. And my vision is not just we want to produce for the world. So the scale and level and quality that we want to produce out of it, right, would be to cater to top customers of the world. We really want to set up something which will be top of the line.
Listeners may not know just how large VVDN is, but it employs more than 10,000 workers, and you have plans to hire significantly more in the next few years. On your website is a video that says you plan to hire some 25,000 more workers in the next 5 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, Mike, that's correct. VVDN is doing phenomenal, right? Things are growing very well for us, right? There's huge business opportunity out there, and the kind of products and solutions that we are doing already. Quite a few of them are in production today, but there are many more designs are going on at this moment, which will soon get into production, and the scales and volumes are significantly very high. I'm assuming to take care of all those requirements, we will have to hire the number of people that you just mentioned, right? So we will have to do that for sure.
Does that imply that you expect that most of the employees that you hire will be on the manufacturing side, or are you going to staff up on the engineering side as well?
So Mike, we are going to staff up on the engineering side as well. The way VVDN is, we are a engineering-led manufacturing company, right? So we have deep engineering capabilities combined with manufacturing capabilities, right? So in the even today, right, we have almost about 5,000 engineers in the company, and we are continuously ramping up. We are hiring more people. So absolutely, we are going to be investing more and more on the engineering side.
Do you have plans for expansion offshore, or will that staffing more or less be dedicated to India?
India, of course, is our current focus at this moment, but we are looking for global expansion. We opened an engineering office outside India in Vietnam. We did that already. We are staffing our US office with more engineers, solution architects, technology evangelists, right? We are doing that. We are also exploring a manufacturing facility overseas. Could be in Mexico to begin with, right? And could be another one in Europe. But those are, long term, next 1 2 years plan. So we have to do that eventually, right? Looking at all our customer demands, we will have to be at those places as well. To answer your question, yes, we are looking to ramp up overseas as well.
Some notable Indian electronics manufacturing companies have gone public recently, Dixon Technologies and Surma, among others. VVDN is privately held. Do you have any plans for a public offering?
Mike, we do have plans for public offering in next couple of years. Yeah, so yeah, certainly we plan to go public. As looking at how VVDN is growing, right? We want to pass on the benefit to all our employees and our shareholders and everyone. We do plan to go public in next 3 4 years, depending on the market situation.
The Indian government has placed a concerted emphasis on building up its manufacturing sector. And at this time, has that translated to improvements in the supply chain, logistics, and market access?
Definitely, Mike. There's a huge improvement. So Indian government has come up with something called as PLI schemes, right, which is production linked incentives, and VVDN is one of the big beneficiary of those schemes, and as a result of that, it's encouraging a lot of local design and manufacturing, and with the result, all the chip companies have deep focus into the country, right? And they are making their chips more and more available here locally. So there's huge improvement. Government additionally is improving the logistics infrastructure, imports and exports, right? So there is, with the current government, there is a huge focus, and a lot of action is happening on the ground, right? And we see improvements on a day-to-day basis.
Vivek, when you think about all of your different customers, what does the ideal customer look like to you? I mean, what kind of company is the best fit to use VVDN?
So, Mike, I'm just thinking how to answer this question. This is a little tricky for me. So, we are going after quite a different variety of customers at this moment. We work with large customers who are in billions of dollars in terms of revenues. We work with a lot of mid-sized companies as well, and also we like to work with several startups, right? And let me tell you, we feel proud that a lot of startups have grown with us, and they were startups several years back, and today a few of them have $1 billion of valuations. We like to work with all of them.
Got it. So despite your relative size and the breadth of capabilities that you offer, you feel that emerging companies are also could find a home inside of VVDN.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Is there anything else that you want our listeners to know about VVDN before we close?
Yeah, I think at VVDN, it's almost been 15 years now since we started this company. We are coming with deep, like I shared, right, deep engineering-led manufacturing concept, right, and we continue to we want to focus on that. We want to support the world with a lot of innovative products coming out of India, and within the country, right, we want to innovate, create new products. We want to generate a lot of jobs and support the employment, and support the country as much as possible.
Vivek, thank you for sharing VVDN's plans and your thoughts. Listeners who want to know more about VVDN Technologies can go to vvdntech.com. My guest today has been Vivek Bansal, co-founder and president of engineering of VVDN. For PCB Chat, this is Mike Buetow. Have a nice day.